guess we were on the road, and then I went out again, and I don't remember going out. I don't know. I just remember the ambulance driver saying. I remember hearing the ambulance driver saying, "Oh, come on, Gary, stay with us, stay with us, don't stay with us."
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that, it scared me.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds serious.
Yeah, it sounds
what
serious.
am I doing? So, and then the fear. So, I think that might have been after my experience, because I think I must have been gone, and then when I was coming back, I heard that, and then I became conscious.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that was after the experience that I heard the ambulance driver saying, "Come on, Gary, stay
Mm-hmm.
with us," because that's when I came back to earth consciousness, and and then when you're in earth consciousness, the fear came back in,
Mm-hmm.
and the fear of death came in, and that's when I'm like, "Oh, what am I doing here? I gotta, I fought to stay alive," and then I was fine. I was conscious again.
So when you went out, when you went under, what happened when you finally kind of, were unconscious? What happened, or what do you remember seeing, or?
Well, the first part, I guess, would be I was like feeling a lot of stress and kind of tormented, really a lot of anxiety. Parent and I was, and they were like there was like
together.
these tubes. It was circular, and the colors were really
that were
saturated, bright orange and red, but not fire.
Mhm.
Just really saturated colors.
Amazing.
Not fire in any way. Was it fire? And it was like all these colors, but the tubes were outlined with a distinct line,
Wow.
of dark black, in a
Interesting.
circle. A circle. And I think they had diagonal lines in the circle. I don't remember. I did a painting of it, so
Wow.
if I had the painting right now, that would tell.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, maybe you could take a look at the painting
Yeah.
I did and put that.
Yeah. I'll use it.
And so anyway, yeah. So I was in this, and I was like crawling through these tubes, not going down them.
Were you like
I was
amazed
going
at where you
lateral.
were at? Were you amazed, or did it seem familiar, or were you just confused by it? I guess.
No, I really didn't have the feeling like, oh, this is weird. Where am I at?
Yeah.
I just had the feeling of stress and anxiety.
Okay.
Stress and anxiety, and I was like I was crawling. For some reason, I was crawling, trying to go lateral, not down the tube, but into another, trying to go through the tube laterally instead of down it.
Yeah. Straight
That
across.
was kind of interesting. Instead of, it was like going through them.
Yeah.
And I was like fighting to go through
Oh,
it.
I see what you mean. Wow, that's weird.
And I was on my knees crawling.
Yeah.
And I was naked.
Wow.
And I
Amazing.
felt really stressful. I mean, it was really tormenting, but it wasn't like, I mean, at times I thought it was like, you could maybe even say it was kind of hellish, in a sense, like hell. But it wasn't any sense in, it was anxiety. It was just normal life anxiety, but at a high level. Like, if, you're like feeling really super anxiety.
I just feeling
from
stressed,
some
and that's how I
incident in
felt
your everyday life, whatever.
before my experience. I was,
whatever.
when I was
Could be
conscious
anything.
before I passed out.
I just felt a lot of
I was
anxiety,
feeling
but
a
I wasn't
lot
like-
of high anxiety because that's when I had smoked the really hardcore chronic weed, which I don't do,
Yeah.
and so I had a total anxiety attack from the marijuana.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
And that just totally
I get like
stresses
that
me
too.
out.
Yeah.
So it's like that feeling was brought into with me.
Yeah, you took it to that other realm with
because
you.
I was feeling severe anxiety before I passed
I
out. It
see.
wasn't like I was feeling good or
Mhm.
easy. I was really stressing out before I went out. So I think I took that with me. And then I'm crawling and just feeling really stressed. And then all of a sudden, I somehow come into a different space. And the tubes were gone, the orange and red was gone, and all of a sudden I'm in a different space. And all I can think of is the colors, a really intense blue and a really intense white.
and you could almost think of it as a really clear blue sky looking straight up and a white
Wow.
cumulus cloud. It was almost like a blue sky and a white cloud.
Mm.
It's almost kind of, that's funny, the stereotypical scene of heaven and the clouds.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's true.
There's something to it.
So anyway, I'm in this space. Yeah, I'm in this space, and I'm just, and my feelings in this space are, I'm fully conscious. I'm conscious that I'm who I am. I'm Gary Dalen. I'm conscious of that. I'm conscious of, I'm conscious, of who I am as a being, as an I. It's not like I've lost self. I know that I'm Gary. But I'm not really dwelling on the fact that I'm Gary. I'm just existing in a space. And the space felt really good. I mean, good in the sense that take your best moment in your life to where you're just like totally feeling really good, like something really good happened, and you're just feeling really, really
Wow.
good. And then you take that really good feeling and you multiply it by 1,000.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
I
1,000.
really love this.
1,000, maybe even more.
Wow.
And the only thing I could think in that, I was feeling, I wasn't thinking, but the only thought I had.
How wonderful. What a wonderful thing.
Yeah, the only thought I had was, I said to myself so profoundly, I said, I can't believe, I never imagined any time in my consciousness in the past that you could even ever feel this good. I mean, I never even imagined that you could even begin to feel this good. And you felt really safe. You felt like you were home.
Wow.
Like this is home your experience on Earth is like a nightmare. That's like a bad dream. Like that is not the reality. That is like a horrible dream. And this is reality. This is reality. And you had such clarity. You had such amazing clarity of truth, And there was one time too that I had a subtle thought at the time, although I can't really articulate it or say why or what, that everything that was going on Earth, as far as religion, philosophy, and all of the great things, that it was just all bullshit, and everybody was just absolutely clueless. And the ones that went out there and wrote all these books and thought they knew about everything about the universe, spirituality, philosophy, it was laughable.
Ignorant to what really is going on.
So the holy man on the mountain.
Because they were really just totally, and it's interesting too, because at the time I was just getting downloaded with huge doses of spiritual philosophy, because that's when I was in graduate school, doing the spiritual course. So I was downloaded with a lot of that stuff. And I just realized these people are clueless, But it wasn't like, like an ego thing. Like they don't know and I know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And I still don't know. It's just like, and it was okay that they didn't know. It was all meant to be. It had to be that way.
Right, yeah.
For whatever reason. So it wasn't like a bad thing. It's just what it was. And then, but that was really subtle, that part. I really don't know. I don't even really think about that too much, because it was just so subtle and obscure. I can't really make anything out of it. So I don't even know if that was completely, totally in my experience. So I don't pay too much attention to that thought. And then, so let me see. It was just really amazing. It was like you felt like you were home. This was the original reality of life. That other consciousness was just kind of a computer glitch.
Yeah.
There was no indication of any type of religion or metaphorical, mythical religious figure whatsoever. That stuff is just non-existent. That's just all made up in your earth conscious mind. And so it was really incredible. So anyway, so now I'm just feeling really high, like I took 20 doses of ecstasy, but I didn't OD. And so you're out of so you're back into so then all of a sudden I notice I'm back into the tubes.
Oh wow! All
I'm
of a
back
sudden.
into the
Oh, wow.
tubes, and I did hear a voice. I did hear a voice. So I guess God is real because God spoke to me, and it was the most craziest thing I heard. And I don't know if I heard it right. If I don't know if I remember if I hear it right, but what I think it said was, "Stop pounding your head against the wall, the brick wall or just the wall, trying to destroy your ego. Stop trying to destroy your ego." That's a voice that I heard, and I don't know what it means. I've thought about it many a times, and I've kind of come to conclusions, but deep down somehow I don't think my conclusions of what it means are really right on. And then, so I'm back into the orange space, right? And I'm feeling stress again. You know, I'm just like, this sucks, man. I want to go back here. And so I'm crawling, crawling so hard to try to permeate through the orange back into the blue space, right? And I can't get back. And then I hear another voice saying, "You're almost there." And then about at that time, that's when I heard the paramedics say, "Oh, come on, Gary, stay with us." And then that's when I started coming conscious again. And then that's when I realized, oh shit, am I dying? What am I doing, man? I can't be dying. So then I said, man, I gotta stop dying. So I came to. And well, that's in honesty, that's when I said, oh no, I can't die. I was thinking of my two boys.
Yeah.
I can't die. So I fight, stay back to life, and then there I'm conscious. But the interesting thing is that the thing that is really fascinating to me about the near-death experience, if that's what it was, I don't know. I remember the doctor coming and asking me about it because she was interested in these things, at the hospital. But what about
really amazes
you
me
have
is
to
that-
be in this
that,
consciousness.
consciousness,
I don't know why,
that
but
consciousness
for some
of the
reason
blue light and the
we're
earth
here for a
consciousness.
reason. Like maybe we volunteered to come to this place, and for whatever reason, and that is the mystery of it. Is if we knew why we existed and everything, it would wreck the experiment or whatever. Our volunteer mission.
The experience.
So we can't know. And so when you come back to Earth consciousness, you have to go back into that space of separation and fear, because that is what Earth consciousness basically is. And so to me, it's just interesting that it's like, how can I have this experience and intellectually or just through memory know that there's absolutely nothing to fear in death, but not only nothing to fear, but it's something that I would want. If I had a choice between that and that, no, take me back. I did not want to go back to Earth consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to go back. And now that I'm back, I don't want to go die again. That's what's so amazing to me. People say, most people I know that have near-death experiences say, oh, I have no fear of death or whatever. But I don't think it's that simple. To be totally honest with myself, it's not that simple. I really have a fear of death still, like I did before. And I don't know why, but I think it's just because of Earth consciousness. I think we have to be in this state of consciousness. And it's something we have no control over. It's just what it is. You can use your mind, you can manipulate, you can do whatever you can to psych yourself out to not fear death. But the bottom line is when that moment of death comes knocking on your door, you're going to be freaked out. And then I know, and so I tell myself, I'm afraid, but for 30 seconds there, right before I die, I'm going to be terrified. But I just tell myself, as soon as that 30 seconds is over, I'm going to be back in the blue light.
And the
everything's
ecstasy.
going to be good. And then the ecstasy will kick in again.